And law of attraction is exactly the same way. You can't set your dial on ornery and have lovely things come into your experience. They are different vibrational frequencies. So then we began to talk to you about your emotions and what your emotions mean. And we talked about the different emotions that you might have, all the way from despair, all the way up to appreciation and love and joy. We began talking about the disc that you might be on, the spinning disc of emotion. If you're on the ornery disc, you're not going to rendezvous with people who are on the happy disc. It just doesn't happen. Law of attraction doesn't match you up that way. We began talking to you about your point of attraction, you in your human body. You stand right here and now. Where you stand right here and now, what is your point of attraction? What is the vibrational atmosphere that you have created? Are you ornery? Are you irritated? Are you afraid? Are you angry? Are you blameful? Are you guilty? If you're feeling those emotions on a pretty steady basis, that means you are holding yourself steadily in vibrational discord to who you really are and what you really want. And the thing that is so interesting about that is that if life hadn't caused you to expand, you wouldn't even feel the discord. In other words, it's not somebody else's idea of who you should be. It's not God's idea of who you should be. It's not your mother's idea, although sometimes it feels like it, of who you should be. It's your own internal discord. Life caused you to want to be this, but you're being this, and that's what negative emotion always means. What we are wanting you to understand is that in every moment, you have a vibrational relationship with who you really are. And if you hadn't become something that you're not now being, you would not feel the discord. That's the most important thing to know about your emotions. If you are not feeling good, it always means the same thing. You are not vibrationally up to speed with who you really are and what you really want. And there's no getting around it. Hear these words. There's no condition that you can wrestle to the ground in any way that is going to change that. Because it's not the condition that's got you all upset. It's the vibrational inconsistency. It's the vibrational variance. It's the resistance that you are introducing in this moment to a frequency that is dominant, you see. So we're eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. It is our powerful desire that in these hours that we are together, you come to recognize that you stand in what we want to call your point of attraction. It's this vibrational, emotional, mood, atmosphere. It's what's going on with you. And if we can convince you that through life that you have a magnificent vibrational reality that has the potential of fully manifesting all the dollars you want, all the relationships you want, all of the material objects that you want, all of the conditions and circumstances and events and lifestyle, all of the lovely things that you want, that life has shown you that you would feel better in the having of. All of those magnificent manifestations can flow easily into your realization when you contour your mood or atmosphere in a way that does not oppose it. In other words, you can't want something that you doubt. You can't believe that you can't have something that you want. So we're going to give you a process. This has been something that Esther's really been enjoying recently. And we're calling it the satisfied, dissatisfied, or satisfied, unsatisfied, satisfied, not satisfied. So she opens her journal and she puts a big S over here and a big un over there. And then she just sort of lets life happen. So something wonderful will happen, or she will just feel wonderful in much the way you just described. And so on this side of it, she'll write a line that says, let's see, what were your lines? I'm living just a wonderful life, and I've taken on a new leadership role. Just listing those things that are easily satisfying. Nothing unsatisfying about it. And then you said, and a new relationship. And then in the relationship sector, so then on the unsatisfying part of the journal page, you might write, I worry about some things that have happened in the past happening again. Satisfied, 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 unsatisfied. So now, because you're right here where you have control, It's not satisfied, it's the end of the world. It's not satisfied, I don't know what to do. It's not satisfied, I'm beside myself. It's satisfied or unsatisfied. It's just in that controllable, low momentum stage is when we're encouraging you to catch it. So now you've written that. And now, if you will, take that idea that you just wrote. I am thinking about the unpleasant what ifs. Then you might say, but there are so many pleasant what ifs. And I have no reason to think about unpleasant what ifs. These are just habits of thought, and things are going extremely well. And it's so unnecessary that I bring the past into this because it has nothing to do with it. So now you've got satisfied, 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 not satisfied, satisfied. But this is the point. On the subject of dissatisfaction, you have left that subject in a place that you have never left it before. Well, probably doing that today is not going to do the trick completely, because there were a lot of things that you were worried about. Every relationship has a certain amount of insecurity within it. In other words, when your happiness seems like part of the reason is because of this other person, then this other person sticking around feels like a pretty important thing. We get how knowing what you really want can make you know what you don't want. But if you play this game with yourself, it won't be long before there will be a new place that you've left it. When you're in concert with your inner being, under the influence of your inner being, your attraction power is way, 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 way more than when you're not. From the very first moment that you had a I know what I don't want, I know what I do want moment relative to relationship, your inner being only focused upon what you do want. So consider this. Pretend, it isn't literally this way, but pretend that your inner being is over there with that journal, a journal just like it. You are not going to be able to say, I don't want contrast anymore. But what you could do yourself a big favor and love the contrast. Do you know that when you really, 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 really don't want something, you really, 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 really do want something? If you will do your best to feel as good as you can feel in any point in time, it will just get better and better and better. What you just said to us is, Abraham, I sort of well, you didn't say this, but we're saying it to you. And then we'll tell you when you started saying something to us. So what we're saying to you is, so you're in this vehicle, and then you look over there, and there's another one. So you get into it, and you go for a ways, and then you look over, and there's another one. And you get in it, and you go for a ways. Then there's another one. And what you're saying to us is, okay, I get that there's going to be a few, but I want to just jump over into this one and go. And we say, well, we get why you would want to do that, but that's not how it works. You can't be a different vibration than you are. You can't be a big vibrational jump, but you can be a segment intending vibrational jump. The truly practical approach is by acknowledging that you're not ever going to get it done, so there is no ending place to be. You know what the most pragmatic thing is that we want you to acknowledge is that you're not going to get it done, and it all has the potential of being fun. The way you're describing it, or the way you're asking about it, it would be like getting into a vehicle and you're going to take a road trip. Let's say that it's a 1,000-mile road trip, and you have some ideas of what you're going to do when you really get to your destination, because there are people that you care about that are going to be there and meet you. But the whole time you're making that journey, which is a 2-day at least journey, you are not having a good time because you're not where you want to go. You want to just transport yourself and be there because you want to get to where you want to go, and you're not having any of the journey to get there. And what we want you to acknowledge is that there is a journey, and it has the potential of being as good as you'll let it be. And just because it's not all the way to where you want to be doesn't mean that there aren't things that you will enjoy about it. But there are certainly not going to be any enjoyment on that 1,000-mile journey unless you decide to look for enjoyable things about it. That's the very best thing that you can do for yourself. Decide that you're going to enjoy where you are on your way to where you'd rather be. But what you're saying to us is, I don't really want to enjoy myself on my way to where I'd rather be. I'd just rather be where I'd rather be.